Hi, welcome to the Heart of Illumination. I'm Joseph. Thanks for being here for today's message and transmission. Remember, take what resonates and leave the rest. And today I happen to be at a more lively background location. So feel free to trust that if there are people walking by, or minor disturbances or minor things in the background, don't worry. They'll be incorporated into the message. And just trust that this message will be a little bit more lively, and that's what we'll need in this moment. And so today was an interesting day for me, and there's already a lot that can come through on these messages, and I'm personally learning on how to deliver it more effectively in accordance to what you each will need in each of these messages. And so I've also noticed that, I guess we're all working on expressing our truth, speaking our truth, and being in our own truth. And however that comes across, live, recorded, or public speaking amongst hundreds of thousands of people, right? It'll be different forums, different mediums, or different methods, but yet at the core is touching upon and really being connected to this essence of who we are and how we express ourselves. And what is this truth that we're connected to, that is our truth? Others might not fully resonate to it, but yet we have to just live who we are, be in our own alignment and coherence, and still just share it and share our piece of the truth, so that it can connect with other pieces of truth, other people's perspective in the whole collective, so that, hey, we get a more fuller, more rich, and more multi-dimensional collective truth that ultimately gets assembled and makes all our lives richer. And so I decided on this environment just to kind of switch things up and feel and allow each location to provide a different energy, and to provide a different energy for you. And hopefully it'll also inspire you whatever you do, either it's work, play, or enjoyment, or a little bit of both, to change up your environment, even if it's not ideal. Like right now I'm recording right into the sun. I'm squinting quite a bit, yet the video quality will look way better with me being brighter than me being in behind the shade, so it'll look it wouldn't look as cool. So I'm prioritizing being kind of lit up a little bit more. Yes, I'm squinting my eyes, but yet overall I feel very nice and warm in the sunlight. And because I look great, I look better on camera, so the message delivery will also be a little bit more illuminating, right? A little more powerful, a little bit more shiny, right? And so even if some of you just listen to the message, but yet there's definitely an impression, a holistic impression that's involved when we prioritize certain traits. It doesn't make this message or transmission any really different, right? Of course, if it was a cloudy day, I would still record, and I wouldn't be lighting up like this, right? I wouldn't be having to squint my eyes. But yet, obviously, the quality of this video will be different, or a little bit not as luminous, right? Not as radiant. So maybe I'll deliver a different message because of different variables and whatever. So I'm just gonna trust in it. I made a call to just record it like this, and so hopefully you guys also share that I made the right decision. So part of today's message is that it's a couple quick messages, and if I feel the call to create other more in-depth videos, messages related to each of these things, I will. So basically, today my energy was not all over the place, but I had planned on how to do certain things throughout the day. So I was at the library with the intention of moving forward with one of my projects. Uh, but yet when I got there, I was set up, I plugged my computer in, and I felt that an intense tiredness, right? I couldn't quite concentrate, and even though I wanted to move the task forward, it's like I didn't, there was nothing in me that motivated me to do that. So some of you might be experiencing that today, or even maybe for days or even weeks, right? Maybe not continuously, but you've been having these spurts of low energy, low inability to focus. Just you have a goal in mind, you have an aim in mind, but yet in that moment, it doesn't align. So I'm just here to tell you it's okay, right? So I experienced it for an hour, right? I ended up trying to take a little bit of a nap, or at least resting my head, focusing on breathing for a little bit for about 10 or 20 minutes or so. And then I thought I was a little bit better, that I could move forward. No, eventually I got distracted on my phone with I couldn't access the Wi-Fi for a little while, so that was a little weird. And then of course that didn't help get me in the flow to focus on my work. And then because of accessing the Wi-Fi, I had to load a website, so I chose Reddit to load the website to enable the Wi-Fi. And then it eventually enabled it, but then because I was in the state that I couldn't focus on anything, I wasn't motivated or aligned to do the task that I had planned to, and I was just still in this, tired state. Like, I went there and I was in a 9 tired state, and then after I rested my head, breathed a little bit for 15-20 minutes, I felt a little bit better. I was at maybe an 8, maybe just an 8. But then, it didn't bring me out of that state, right? I needed more to get me into alignment. So at least I bared with it. I bared with that for about an hour, and I'm like, okay, I don't want to sit here any longer to not move forward on my thing, right? An hour is enough to prove the point that, and I at least was mindful that I don't want to just take another breather. I don't want to just scroll on Reddit or any other website. Let me just take a walk, right? And the library happened to be in Saigon, by the bay, by these beautiful, luscious parks and so forth. So I'm like, okay, I'll just grab a bite and take a walk. So I ended up just heading over to a restaurant and grabbed a little bite, and then I actually got a little energized from getting some food in me, change of location, a shift in energy, and then eventually I just sat there for a little bit and felt, okay, I plan to record this message in the afternoon anyway. All right, let me just go and record the message. And then of course I came and set up the best way I could, making some trade-offs, and then just going with the flow and creating the momentum to record. I didn't have anything planned, but I just know that when I get in front of the camera and I'm recording for you, I'm doing it, I'm helping somebody through these messages and transmissions. That contributes to my motivation and my momentum. That contributes to that I'm taking a big step on creating my body of work for my life. And this might just be a couple minutes of a video, or just a video in a string of videos on this channel. Yet for me, this is another step forward in creating my body of work, right? So this is real substance. This is an actual video that's going out to someone. So, so for me, it energizes me, and that's what I feel, right? And I didn't have to. I wanted to record it in a really nice way, but had to just make a trade-off, and I'd rather just record it as with the light fully shining on me versus hiding behind the shade. So, so this might be a message for somebody where part of it is, right, do what lights you up, do what gives you even just a little bit of energy, do what aligns with your bigger why or a bigger picture that you have clarity about. Or if you, right, I use the term my body of work, right? So everything that I do for the rest of my life, as well as before this point, is my body of work, right? That's my message, that's my transmission, that's my gift. Even if it's just a few people receiving it, or it could be a lot more. But I'm just treating every moment of my existence as I'm creating my body of work. Even if I'm just studying, that's contributing to my body of work. Even if I have to deal with an hour of seemingly, right, non-productive time, right, dealing with tiredness, dealing with not being able to focus and whatever, right? It's like, nope, I needed to just go through that, get myself into a more energized state, and then go with whatever flow I can create for myself, and then come out here and record and record a really good message for you. So sometimes that's what looks like, right? Sometimes that's what progress looks like. Sometimes that's what moving forward looks like. And this is a great example of how we can plan stuff, or how we can have an ideal image of something, or an ideal vision of something, or an ideal plan, or an ideal way of being. Yet when we live our life and when we implement implement our plan and allow our life to unfold, it's a little messy. Of course, I didn't plan to have low energy, but that's what ended up happening. Yet, this was a good milestone, just recording. And so, I'm sure you have experienced something similar to this. So this is just an invitation and a permission that it's okay to have moments, days, or even periods that is not perfectly going according to your plan, but yet you became adaptable. You align moment to moment, or you took the effort to align even when it's even when it's intensely, when you're really tired, but you have to get something done, right? And that thing was in alignment with you. You summoned the energy to get it done, whether it took you 15 minutes or an hour, you got it done. And then right after you got it done, you took care of the tiredness by resting immediately. Or you can just drop right on the work desk you're working on, right? Turn off the computer, turn off your recording device, and then just drop, and then take a quick nap right there, right? So yeah, just in that simple message, I covered so many things, but the key thing is just you can create your own momentum, tune into stuff, tasks, things that gives you the energy, gives you the clarity, helps you with the momentum, and demonstrate to you that you're making progress. And it'll be even better, right? It'll be even more energizing if the task that you're doing or you're going to do is a critical piece, and it moves you forward in developing your body of work, right? So I hope that helps. So I'll keep that message very simple. right? And actually, it's very profound, right? And I will go deeper on all these various things that I brought up in this video, right? The most profound being, what is your body of work? What is your creative legacy in this world as your current embodied self, right? And again, it doesn't have to be perfect. You don't necessarily have to be the good guy or the bad guy or anything like that. But whatever you do, whatever you focus on, whatever you create as your aligned self is your true natural body of work that you came here to do. Yes, a lot of times we don't have clarity of what our life purpose is, and sometimes we just get little breadcrumbs on the right directions to go, what to create, what to focus on learning in this moment, and we don't know the next 3 steps. Yet, if you have one step of clarity, that's not just one step of clarity in this task or the project or your creation in this moment. It is a critical gem that you receive from your full body of work in this lifetime, and it was presented to you so that you can just make that quick move, that one simple move, and you already laid one brick on let's treat your body of work as a wall or a house, right? You laid one brick for your body of work house or temple or mansion, right? Whatever it is, or a tower of something, right? So body of work. So please like and comment on this video if you like what I share and what resonates with you, as well as provide any feedback for your own story relating to how you've dealt with moments where you had low energy or that nothing was going right, but something you focused on helped you to anchor, something you found meaningful helped you to anchor and provide you with at least a spark of energy, and then you built on that spark. And then if you're really interested in this topic of body of work, let me know. I'll definitely create a video about this, a specific message, and actually it could be a whole series on the body of work, because that's really deep, right? We don't necessarily have to talk about purpose, because sometimes people get too hung up on what's my purpose, what's my mission, what's my vision, right? They want the big picture. And yet a lot of times, sometimes in life, is the divine don't give us the big picture, because then we get overloaded, or then we focus too much on the big picture and don't do the detailed step by step. So sometimes we just need to take those steps, gather those gems one by one, and then before you know it, you've gathered 10 to 20 gems, and those are beautiful gems, and you have them as in your bucket. And yet every time you gathered the gem, like I said, you laid another brick on your grand temple that you're building, right? So there's so much there. There's so much there, so much richness when you can tap into this energy of creating your body of work. I hope that helps. Until next time.